Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.
From Halcyon 0830, as written in the Talmud, when a Jew murders Gentile, there is no death penalty. What a Jew steals from Gentile, he may keep. All Gentile children are animals. If Jew is tempted to do evil, he should do evil. If Gentile hits Jew, Gentile must be killed. Hitting a Jew is same as hitting God. Jews may use lies to circumvent a Gentile. Jew need not pay a Gentile any wages. Goyim are boiled in hot excrement in hell. Unquote. Okay. Every single thing you're writing here that you claim is in the Talmud is a complete lie. It's a complete lie, distortion, mistranslation. Judaism is the opposite of what you want to portray it as. You see, you Nazis and Muslim scum, you're the ones that think like this. You're the ones who are racists and bigots and hate anyone who is not like you. You're the ones who preach this. This is called mirror image evil. Because you're evil people, you're trying to promote the mirror image of your own wickedness against the Jewish people. But the Jewish people, in fact, are the opposite of what you represent and what you stand for. Judaism does not say that you have to be a Jew to have a place in the next world. Gentiles who do not believe in Judaism, who are not Jews, non-Jews, can have eternal life in paradise. You do not have to be a Jew to have eternal life in paradise. And the vast majority of the people in the world to come will not be Jewish. Judaism is the most tolerant, loving religion in the world because it's the true religion of God. And Judaism says that the vast majority of people who will have eternal life in the next world, in paradise, will not be Jews, will be Gentiles. Jews used to do 70 sacrifices, 70 animal sacrifices for the 70 nations of the world, symbolically representing the Gentiles in the world, Gentile nations. So, all of this is baloney. The whole existence of the Jewish people, the whole aim of Judaism is for the Jews to be Or La'amim, which means a light unto the nations. The Talmud is based entirely upon the Torah, upon the Bible. Nothing in the Talmud contradicts what is written in the Bible or the Torah. Nothing. So all of this, which would contradict everything that's written in the Bible, everything you've said here is completely against everything in the Bible, everything in the Torah. I mean, it's complete baloney. The Talmud would never say anything like this. You're the one that thinks like this. You're the one. You Nazis and you Muslims and Muslim lovers, you're the ones that believe in this garbage. Not the Jewish people. The Jewish people that stand for the opposite. And now we go to Zobi Lamouche 1, and I quote, all Zionist Christians and Zio Jews, Sayanim, care about is Israel, greed, AIPAC, making sure Israel takes over everything from Euphrates River in Iraq to the Nile in Egypt. They call it Greater Israel, making sure Muslims and all people on earth are oppressed, killed, or converted. And then Armageddon will happen in Israel. That's why Christians and Jews don't care about ending wars, saving earth from ruin, poverty, peace, or humanity's future. They only care about making sure Armageddon happens, unquote. Here again, we see the same pattern that we saw in the first questioner. I mean, you are Muslim and you have the nerve to talk about the Jews don't care about anybody and just care about achieving their goals and don't care about having people killed or converted. You're the one that wants to kill or convert anyone who's not a Muslim. And then you accuse the Jews of doing what you want. Here we go again. This is evil people this is called projection. Evil people projecting onto righteous people their own wicked immorality. You're the ones. You Muslims are the ones that stand for all of this. People can read our Torah and see in our Torah that our Torah has a universalist message. A message that extends to all nations of the world. My house shall become a house of prayer for all nations. You do not have to be a Jew to have a place in eternal paradise in Judaism. But in Islam, You can't get into paradise, and you have no place in the next world if you're not a Muslim. If you're not a Muslim, you're going to burn in hell forever. And Allah, it says Allah enjoys, sadistically enjoys watching you being tortured and burned in the next world. That's what the Quran and the Hadith teach. People should read the Quran and the Hadith. And everything that you Muslim Nazis stand for, you accuse the Jews of doing. The Jews, with their one puny little country trying to survive among you Muslim Nazi maniacs, you attack poor little Israel. Poor little Israel's trying to survive among you lunatic, hateful, jealous, vicious, nasty, smelly people, because that is what you are. And you attack the poor little Israel trying to survive, and accuse little Israel, puny little Israel. You accuse. You actually hear us saying little Israel wants to take over the whole world and wants. Hey, please. Everything you're accusing the Jews of is what you really stand for. And now we go on to Mr. Spirit Us 001. And I quote, "The terrorist acts by the Zionists were thoroughly discussed in the House of Commons in London. Members of Parliament frequently asked questions about Zionist terrorist acts, which were answered by responsible British cabinet ministers. Parliamentary debates record in detail Zionist terrorist activities in Palestine and their condemnations of them. On November 17, 1944, Prime Minister Winston Churchill described the Zionist terrorists as a new set of gangsters worthy of Nazi Germany," unquote. The British closed the doors to the land of Israel to the Jews during the Holocaust. The British Nazis have the blood of 6 million Jewish men, women, and children on their hands. They murdered 6 million Jews. The British Nazis did this by closing the doors of the land of Israel to the 6 million Jews who were forced to go to the gas chambers and the ovens. They could have escaped to Israel. Hitler and the Nazis, by the way, would have let them leave Europe and go to Israel because Hitler and the Nazis wanted to win the war first and get them out of the way. That originally was a Nazi goal. And the British would not allow them to do that. British Nazis would not allow them to do that. And so the Jews resisted the British, the nerve, the goal of the British taking over. This little island, England, at one time controlled half the world. Half the world was controlled by this one little island, sucking the blood of the whole world and murdering millions of people all over the world with a gigantic empire to benefit this one little island. They had a right to do it. The British had a right to be in Israel and tell the Jews, you can't come, you can't save millions of your brothers and sisters. Millions of your brothers and sisters have to be murdered in gas chambers and ovens because we, the British, are going to control what you do in your own country. The British had a right to come into Israel and control Israel. Who gave the British a right to be there to begin with? Why do the British have a right to be in any foreign country? This is, no foreign country should have been there. That land belonged to the Jewish people. And what the British did to the Jews was an unforgivable crime. And now they're talking about, and when the Jews finally resisted and finally decided to try to resist the British and try to fight back against the British call it terrorism. They call it terrorism when someone tries to resist their imperialist, colonialist genocide.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.